to April of 2009. A unit within the Department of Homeland Security under Janet Napolitano generated a report about the rise of right-wing extremist groups in this country. The report warned about the increasing dangers of violent radicalization prompted by a poor economy and the election of Barack Obama. Conservatives loudly renounced it as an attack on the general right-wing ideologies. Now, the Washington Post reports the Department of Homeland Security severely reduced the unit responsibility for studying these domestic terrorist groups. According to the analyst responsible for much of the report, Daryl Johnson, a single caseworker is now doing the work of 6. He says his office was gutted in response to the complaints about the report from conservatives. Since the bombing of the Muir Federal Building in Oklahoma City in 1995, the Southern Poverty Law Center has tracked 96 major radical right terror incidents inside the United States. Since the report was leaked in April of 2009, there have been 24 such incidents. That's what's at stake here, and yet the Department of Homeland Security is reducing resources in monitoring these groups because the report hurts some conservatives' feelings. Joining me tonight is Mark Potok, the director of the Intelligence Project at the Southern Poverty Law Center. Good evening, Mark. Good to have you with us. Is this action by the Department of Homeland Security putting us at danger? The reduction in the caseworkers, what does that mean?
Well, what it means in concrete terms is that law enforcement officials, agencies out there in the 50 states are not getting the intelligence that was very useful to them in helping to understand what was going on out there. What DHS really did, or used to do, was to produce intelligence. It wasn't so much building actual criminal cases as intelligence as to what was going on out there on the radical right. Daryl's report was really a very prescient report. It very much fell in line with our own independent findings. And, of course, it was immediately confirmed as it was being pilloried by people like Michelle Malkin, the columnist, by the American Legion, and so on. Things were happening that absolutely confirmed it. Very shortly after the leak of the report, for instance, George Tiller, an abortion provider, was murdered. Not long after that, I'm sure viewers will remember, a guard was murdered at the Holocaust Museum by a well-known neo-Nazi. And the list goes on and on and on. In January of this year, a man tried to murder hundreds of people at a Martin Luther King